So, what really gets you out of bed and excited for work? For years, we've all been told the answer is simple, right? A bigger paycheck. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the real key to high performance and creativity isn't what we think it is at all? All right, let's get into it. We're going to start by looking at what I call the $1 million paradox. It's this really strange, fascinating gap between how much people are paid and the quality of work they actually produce. I mean, it seems logical. You pay more, you get more. But it turns out the real world is, well, it's way more complicated than that. And this, right here, just nails the paradox. Think about it. On one side, you have some of the highest paying jobs on the planet. Think investment banking, corporate law, and they are notorious for burnout, disengagement, and crazy high turnover. But then on the other side, you've got Wikipedia, one of the most complex, incredible, and impactful projects in human history, built almost entirely by unpaid volunteers, people driven by pure passion. So what on earth is going on here?
To solve this puzzle, you gotta understand that organizations are basically working from two totally different playbooks when it comes to motivation. You can think of them as two different philosophies about what makes people tick, and they lead to completely different ways of running a company.
The first playbook. It's all about a rational calculation. It has a fancy name, Vroom's expectancy theory, but the idea behind it is super simple. Basically, a person asks themselves three questions. First, if I really try, can I actually get this done? Second, if I succeed, will I get a reward? And third, maybe most important, do I even want that reward? If the answer to any of those is no, well, motivation drops to zero. And that right there is the logic behind pretty much every bonus system you've ever seen. But then you've got the second playbook, and it's a whole different ballgame. It's called self-determination theory, or SDT for short, and it argues that real, high-quality motivation isn't a calculation. It's about fulfilling three deep psychological needs that you, me, and everyone else are hardwired with. It's not about the transaction. It's all about our internal drive. And look, this isn't some new, fringe idea. We're talking about Peter Drucker, the godfather of modern management, who was saying this stuff decades ago. He said you have to manage your most skilled people as if they were volunteers. Why? Because they're motivated by what they do, by the cause, not just the paycheck. This lines up perfectly with that psychological model. All right, so what are these three powerful psychological needs that SDT is all about? Let's break down the secret sauce, the real ingredients of what truly drives long-term, sustainable performance. First up, autonomy. This is that deep down need we all have to feel like we're in the driver's seat of our own lives, making our own choices. A classic example, think about Google's famous 20% time policy, where engineers could spend a whole day a week working on whatever they wanted. That's a direct investment in autonomy. And it's where game changers like Gmail and AdSense were actually born. Next up, number 2 is competence. This is that amazing feeling you get when you know you're good at something, and you can feel yourself getting even better. It's all about mastery. You see this in action at companies like Shopify, which gives its employees a generous budget for professional development. They know that when people grow their skills, the whole company wins. And finally, the third piece of the puzzle, relatedness. This is the fundamental human need to connect with other people, to be part of a team, to feel like you belong, and that people have your back. It's that we're all in this together feeling that can make a workplace truly special. Okay, so you're probably thinking, what about the money? Where do bonuses and cash rewards fit in? Well, a great way to think about them is like a sugar high. They're powerful, for sure. They give you a fast-acting burst of energy, but that effect wears off fast. And if that's all you're running on, eventually, you're going to crash. We're talking burnout, disengagement, and sometimes even unethical behavior just to get the reward. Okay, Siri is one thing, but let's see how this stuff actually plays out in the real world. We're going to look at a tale of two highly successful banks that made completely different bets on what drives their people. And this is where it gets really interesting. On the one hand, you've got RBC, the Royal Bank of Canada. Huge bank. They kind of play it down the middle with a hybrid model. They absolutely still have bonuses tied to hitting financial targets. That's pure Vroom theory. But they also invest a ton in building a great culture. Then you've got Handelsbanken, a Swedish bank. And what they did was, well, it was radical. They completely abolished individual performance bonuses. Their entire model is built on trust, mastery, and giving their local branches an incredible amount of autonomy. Now, here's the crucial point. It's a strategic choice. RBC is making a pragmatic bet. They're using financial incentives for short-term results while building a culture for long-term stability. Handelsbanken, on the other hand, went all in. They're betting that the only path to truly sustainable success is to unleash intrinsic motivation. And for them, it's been working for decades. So, all of this brings us right to today and to the future. Because with the rise of AI, these questions about what really motivates us aren't just academic anymore. They're becoming more urgent than ever. So if you take one thing away from this whole discussion, let it be this. You can't outpay everyone forever. It's a losing game because there's always someone with deeper pockets. The only durable competitive advantage, the only thing you can build that truly lasts, is an environment where talented people can thrive. A culture built on autonomy, competence, and a real shared purpose. You have to build that. You can't buy it. And this is why it matters more now than ever. As AI starts to handle more and more of the routine, analytical work, the skills that become truly valuable are the ones machines can't replicate. We're talking about creativity, complex problem solving, empathy. And what fuels those uniquely human skills, it's not the fear of missing a target. It's that deep intrinsic drive to create, to solve, and to connect. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. As technology continues to reshape our world and our work, what is it that really makes us valuable? What's the human element that no algorithm can ever replace?